Obama recently said a statement. I guess he's been talking a lot ever since Biden won. And he basically, the headline was Obama warns activists using the phrase defund the police will put people off and you'll lose people and shit. And he got a whole bunch of backlash for it. I don't understand why. Like, I understand why, but he's somewhat telling the truth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He is, you got to remember these, like, people that you look up to, like the Obamas and shit. They're still politicians at the end of the day.
Right.
There's a game you have to play. The phrase defund the police, what he's really trying to say, I think, is come up with a different phrase that means the same thing but sounds nicer.
Right.
So that more people hop onto your idea.
Right. Put the medicine in the candy, so to speak. And yeah, I agree, because the one thing off this past election, again, people still can't believe it was as close as it was. But the reason why it was that close, right? If we take out all the fucking voter suppression, all that shit, whatever, you can still say that people still voted for Donald Trump and his policies and things like that. And it's because the Dems or liberals or whatever the fuck you want to call them, they focused way too much on things that, for middle America, which is, we said this before, those are the people that are going to, like, choose this election. We, California, we don't matter. We're always blue. Fucking, what's always red state?
Texas or Florida, or
right.
like that.
Texas almost was blue this year. But,
yeah, I know.
But Florida, for the most part, it's always red, right? And there's just certain states that, even though they consider Florida a battleground state, I really don't, because at least in my lifetime, it's been red a lot. But
I've never seen it blue.
I want to say Obama. Was it blue for Obama?
I don't know, but for the most part, like in regular circumstances,
it's been red. So, those middle America states, those, they really do subscribe to the shit that's on the internet. So they'll read the headlines and shit, and when there's a narrative being pushed on CNN or Fox or whatever, and they say defund the police means abolish the police. Now, it was a big narrative going into this whole election. They associated defund with get rid of, which was never the case, but they kept pushing it as that. Of course, to any person with common sense, you're going to be like, if I need help, I can't call anyone. I don't want that. Fuck that. I'm not going to vote for that. And it turned a lot of people off, right? So Obama's saying, hey, stop saying defund the police because they're using it against you. Think of another way to fucking say this, and you turn around and say, no, we're going to do it this way because this is what we want. That's not smart, because what people don't understand, and that's why Obama got so much flack his 2 terms, Obama could never be, like, everyone just expected him to be the president of minorities, the president of black people. He's going to do everything he possibly can for black people, minorities, and get them over the top. And they're going to start telling white people to suck my dick and come over here, you're my new slave. That can't happen because he's still the president of the United States, right? The whole state. So he can't just say...
Which meant something before this last guy. You just have to handle yourself with some decorum and all that shit.
All that shit, right? So you can't, even though he tried to do as much as he could, you still can't sit there and be like, hey, all these policies are just all for my people. You people over there, you gotta suck it up and you'll figure out a way and deal with it or whatever. Like, you can't do that. I know this last president has done a lot of that, but, like, you can't do that because you are in charge of a whole nation. So the idea that he's coming from a perspective of like, hey, if you want to gather the people, this defund the police thing ain't gonna do it, because people will associate defund with abolish. But if you say things like, hey, we want to reallocate some of the spending to help the community, different ring to it. Yeah. People are like, okay, yeah, I want my potholes fixed, or I want this and that.
Yeah, instead of focusing on the negative, you retool it to the positive, being like, said, defund the police, you go, we're going to fund more schools and, street work and all that crap, whatever the technical terms
that you'll never see anyway.
Yeah, but I just find it weird because, lotteries, that money they collect from lottery, it's supposed to go to schools and shit, but I've seen where anytime they're like, oh, we need money for something, this thing, let's take it out of this budget. They always take it out of that lottery budget that's supposed to go towards schools and keeping streets clean and shit like that. Right. So I just don't have faith in all that crap and whatever. But again, with this whole thing, this backlash, I don't see... I want to know where the disconnect is, because there's a reason why when things get nitpicky, people call it stop talking politics. You know, and it's not necessarily about politics. It's just nitpicky about this whatever subject. If you worked anywhere, literally anywhere, it doesn't have to be just an office and shit. You some people get hired. Some people get promotions. Other people don't. Some people that don't deserve it get promotions. Other people that deserve it don't. And shit like that, and then what do they always say? Oh man, it's politics. It's just politics of the whatever.
Right.
So I don't understand why people are so just angry at it instead of using where do people lose the whole common sense shit when stuff is said and then it gets filtered through the media and then they see it? Why does the common sense shit never hit them until way later?
I feel like we've been having that conversation for like the last 2 years because everything that has been like a hot button issue. Especially this last year, to me, it's all common sense. It's all common sense shit. Like, you know, you don't want to get sick, stay home. You don't want, you want your county or state to be policed better. You know, hey, maybe you should start to take some funds away from them to let them know, hey, start doing your job better, right? You don't want to live in tyranny under a fucking certain president, go vote. But when people turn around and say, nah, voting doesn't matter, nigga, what? So what are you going to do? You're just going to keep complaining? Or, like, freaking, same thing with the idea of the whole, like, these masks are such a hot button thing. And I'm like, why? Why? Doctors, if you work in any healthcare, especially in a hospital or even a clinic, these have been warned forever. Forever. And I've never heard a doctor say, guys, I can't breathe. I can't do my job.
In this 24-hour surgery, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe at all. But it's like this thing got turned into they used buzzwords around it. They turned it into a fucking political stance and a talking point. And now this is seen as like the devil to some people.
Yeah. It's seen as a statement rather than, I just don't want to breathe in what you're breathing in or cough on you.
That's it. And then the common sense part to that should be like, well, he can do whatever he wants. It's a free country.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that gets, like you said, that gets lost. And it's like, why are you wearing that around me? How disrespectful can you be? Huh? You don't want to breathe in your air? Huh? You want to be constrained? Like,
you want to hide your face for some reason, some sinister, whatever.
No, hey, man, that's fine. You don't want to do that, but I do. It's I think a good thing or a good analogy for it is, you know, those people who they always want people over, or they always want like to have some sort of like get together or whatever, and then they meet that one person who says no to their invite. You're just like, oh hey man, we're gonna have this now. You down to come? No, I'm good, man. And then in their mind, it starts to spin. It goes like, why does he want to come? Like everyone's coming, and then it goes to like, he must not like me. Or then it goes to, fuck that guy. That guy's a dick. And it's like, that dude probably just doesn't want to be, he probably doesn't like parties. Or probably doesn't like you know, that's it. Like
that, or, you know, he had work to do. Something with
he's
family,
tired.
Some prior engagement. Just, you know, it always has to become personal.
Yeah, and then all these things, like you said, Obama saying, maybe you should change defund the police. All the responses were personal. It was nothing about like, oh, I get the point, or he makes sense. It was all like, no, fuck that. We got to do this, and no, they have to be defunded, and why do we have to change this and that? And I'm like, okay.
I somewhat like, first, I think it's what you said earlier, the whole, instead of using common sense, complaining is a lot easier than using common sense, so that's why people don't use it.
Right.
And people always go, like, you know, path of least resistance with shit. There's that, and then I think people are so used to being, like, on the defense, and they think that everyone's just attacking them. When they hear something that's, like, truly not attacking them, they don't know what to do. They just go straight to reflexes, which is, he's attacking me. Fucking fight back and say some shit back to him, and that's it.
Right.
So I think that's some sort of PTSD shit. Because I get that, you know, you're so used to one thing that any positive change to it, you're like, this doesn't register, he must be attacking me. Right. He must be, what he's saying must be an attack on me.
I feel like everyone has had personal experience with that. I feel like if you don't think you have, or maybe you're not being honest with yourself, but this past weekend that happened to me where I was watching the fight. It was about 7 o'clock, and I heard a knock at my door. It was weird. Knew there wasn't like the mail or anything. I knew it wasn't a package. So I was like, what the fuck? So I go to my door. I open it. It's my neighbor. It's my neighbor's wife or girlfriend, whatever. She has a box of cookies that she just baked. And she's like, oh, hey, like, I don't know if we've met. My name's so-and-so. I just wanted to give you guys these cookies. Like, I made them and everything. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, oh my God. Huh. For us? Like, right? And then close the door. And then I look straight at my wife. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And then she's like, I don't know. And then we're sitting on the couch. And I'm like, man. I was like, should we, like, buy them gifts now? Like, how do we respond to this? Like, and she's like,
do we bake better cookies?
Like, I was like, babe, go make some cake. You make bomb cake. We gonna do this. Like, and then she was like, we didn't grow up this way. I don't know what we supposed to do. And I'm like, fuck, this is weird, right? So literally, we stared at this box, and so my dentist was like, you can't eat small things, right? Because I still have my wisdom tooth holes. They're closing and all, but they don't want anything to get in there. So they're like, can't eat small things. So cookies, crackers, anything that's like sharp, it'll break, can't eat it. So she was like, are you going to try them? And I was like, I can't. Like, and then I was like, are you going to try them? And then she was like, yeah. So she starts to eat one. In my head, I was like, she just poisoned those cookies. I'm about to die. I know it. I know
about
it.
To be single again.
Ladies. No, but I was just like, whatever, right? So she ate the cookie. She was fine. But in my head, like the next day,
I can picture that whole night. You're just looking at her like waiting for a little. She trips a little. You okay, baby? You okay?
Just nothing under her nose. You still breathing?
Yeah, that mirror trick.
But that whole next day, I thought about it, and I was just like, wow, that is insane. Like I have these thoughts about people just being nice.
Yeah, again, we've said it before. We're not used to positivity.
No.
It's so foreign. Like people are just being nice just to be nice. That's weird. Like that reminds me of when you're watching movies and they move into a new house and the neighbors bring them like a casserole or something and all that shit. That's fucking weird. That's never happened here. I've always thought about that too. Like when someone new moves in, is like, are we supposed to like bring them something? Right. Or say what's up? Because the most I've ever done is like look over and be like, "What's up?" and then just keep walking.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was telling her, I was like, man, maybe we should like start interacting with these people like more. And it's not like a thing of like us being like, no, we don't want to talk to them, but it's like everyone's schedule is different. When I see people, I say what's up, they say what's up, that's it, right? But I'm just like, I felt so like weird because I was just like, man, they seem so nice, but in my mind, I'm like, that niceness can go away though.
Yeah, why are they doing this nice thing?
Why are they being so nice?
What do they do? Did they hit my car or something? Or did they scratch my...
I'm going to keep my distance, but y'all still cool, though.
Yeah. It's sort of, that's straight PTSD, like always looking and expecting...
The worst.
Yeah, the worst. Like waiting for this positivity to turn into something that you recognize and know.
You're like, oh, this is comfy. Yeah. What's the word? Fucking dysfunction. There we go.
When she calls you the N-word finally, like you have a smile on your face, like, there it is. There's what I expected this whole time.
You bitch. Dysfunction is fueling my muscles. Yeah, that's a dope ass super villain. Yeah. No, he can be a superhero too. He needs hate. Hero. Yeah, he needs hate to be. Yeah. But yeah, man. So when it comes to the whole Obama thing, it's really someone being like, "Hey guys, maybe we should try it this way." And everyone being like, "Nah, fuck you."
Yeah.
It's weird because we just said before this election that he was awesome. We loved him. Mm-hmm. It's just.
And now, he's saying something you don't 100% agree with.
Nah, I can't fuck with him.
Fuck that guy.
I think the best people we've ever had knew how to galvanize groups of people, but now being being bipartisan or being in the middle on anything is like a death sentence. You can't. You got to choose a side. And I personally don't subscribe to that way of thinking. You can be in the middle on damn near everything.
Yeah, it's called common sense. It's fucking things aren't 100% anything, so. You gotta use your brain to navigate this fucking world.
I don't want to do that. I just want to be on this side. It's easier.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
I mean, let us know what you think about that shit. Whatever he said, the defund the police statement. And also, can you naturally accept positivity without it feeling weird yet in your life? I hope you can.
Can you tell us how?
Yeah.
Accept it on our